Should still photographers incorporate video into your workflow? All right, welcome back. Cheers.
Cheers.
Photography After Hours. So my name is Nick, and I'm here with the lovely Kusi and Sprague.
Kusi?
So we're here with Susie and Sprague.
Yeah.
And we are your After Hours crew, and
Yeah.
we're going to be talking about incorporating video into your workflow, and should you do it, or is it not right? We are sponsored by PAC, which is the Photographers Adventure Club, and we record here and sponsored by the Parkwood Studios in Phoenix, Arizona. So a little bit about this. All these cameras in the past 3-4 revisions, generations, have had a video button, and we use them
Right here.
right here all the time. So we're recording with
in
all
the Parkwood Studios here in lovely Phoenix, Arizona.
4 of them going at once.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
So we have 4 camera angles all going at the same time, and we're not using video cameras per se. We're using all still cameras that have video features, and they've gotten very good. Some of them have incorporated 4K into them, like the this one, and those two have 4K in them, and the new Sony has 4K in it. So Lumix, Olympus, all of these are starting to do that. So is this something that should be taken seriously by photographers?
Yeah, well, apparently so, because they're putting it in. but actually, I think it is a good way to shoot, particularly when you travel, because you can get still frames, and it's kind of neat to get some context because you can get a flavor of the place you're at. You get the street noise, and you can pan a little bit more, and you can get more of a sense of place, I think, if you can incorporate in your presentation, even maybe a 20 to 30 second clip.
Sure.
In your
Yeah, good
workflow when
point.
you show your family and friends.
Shorter seems better these days too. Like Instagram only lets you have 15 seconds on there. Facebook, it seems like stuff like that. People don't want to watch your whole vacation. They'd like to
Right.
watch like, oh, look at that. I'm on the cliffs watching lava flow, and okay,
Yeah.
here's 10 seconds of it, and they're like, oh, cool.
Right.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
People are in a very hustle and bustle kind of
We have short
lifestyle.
attention spans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Our
a
brains have adapted to the whole ADD kind of formula.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, here's how people look
done.
through my portfolio.
Yep,
Yeah, that's
exactly,
right,
exactly. If it's
It's
not
like, I
quick
worked
and-
for hours on those.
Yeah, right. Do you know how I had to hike for 2 days?
Yeah,
For
it's
that
like-
one image.
Yeah.
Yeah, so video, I know a couple years ago, Canon was looking at all their explorers of light and telling them that they had to work video or time lapse, which is video, features into their workflow, and that was part of the Canon program that they were working with, and that a lot of people were like, well, I don't do video, and it's like, well, you better start, because it's a feature of their camera, and they want to be able to sell cameras, and if you're not using the feature, they
Yeah,
need to.
they want folks to be exercising the features of the cameras and stuff in order to best demonstrate it. And who better to demonstrate it than highly accomplished, individuals that have already, proven themselves.
Yep.
Who know nothing about video and don't want to know anything about video, but will be fired if they don't learn. Yeah.
It's like, you better learn this or else.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Heavy penalties,
But I think there really is a place for the video features and incorporating video in with your still image collection and stuff. I think one thing that definitely comes to mind immediately is wedding photography, things like that, where you're not just doing a portfolio of stills, but maybe catching some video here and there, and not having to necessarily anymore invest in the real high dollar, high quality, dedicated video systems that used to be necessary.
Yeah, and you can incorporate that for the event side of things into slideshows, into clips and other things too. So like I use like Pro Show Producer to make slideshows, and I can have videos I can put in there. So you can be like picture, picture, picture. Oh, look, here's a little short video clip, people dancing, and then picture, 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 stuff like that. So.
Well, now how much do you, because the two of you do this a lot more than I do, I mean, how much do you have to know about video production, when you actually get this still out of your camera and put it in, I mean, how do you process
Oh,
it and all
later?
that
Yeah,
stuff?
it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
No,
Because, I can take
you
a picture in the
can.
Lightroom and go, "Ee, ee, 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 ooh,"
No,
and it's good, but the video, it's like,
there
well,
are
it is what it
apps,
is.
there are applications now that make it pretty quick and simple. Or you can really go the other end of control. So when you think about Photoshop being the very functional, very robust application, but then maybe Elements isn't as robust, right? But it's got the essentials in it,
Mhm.
right? So there are equivalent video editors that are the same way. So for instance, on the Mac, iMovie is very user friendly, pretty straightforward. You can get up and running on that very quickly and have some basic edits, some basic color correction, even exposure correction, some shake reduction, things like that. If you bring it into Premiere or Final
Mhm.
Cut Pro, things like that, you do need to get acclimated to all the variety of
Right,
It's
tools
yeah.
at your
way more
disposal,
complicated.
much more complex, but you've got a lot more capabilities there in those applications. So it is comparative to the tools that are available for still photography development.
Right, because I think that's a lot of the roadblock for video is a lot of people say, well, it took me forever to learn how to do a still photo, and now I have to learn this on the video side, and I'm not
Mhm.
really
Yeah,
sure if I'm
Premiere
up
is
for that.
probably not the first place you should jump into. So,
No.
like, we edited our first video for a series that we're doing, and I sent it off just recently to the guy that's now editing them. And he's like, "Oh, the first one's done." He's like, "So why aren't you doing this yourself?" I'm like, "Dude, that took like a week to do. You can do it like in
That's right.
15 minutes." I'm like,
Yeah,
"So
that's
like I
right.
got it done and I did it well," he said. But it's like
Yeah,
when I told him how long it took, I was like, "It took me like several days to do that."
yeah.
Where they know what they're doing the way we know what we're doing in Lightroom. That's what they do day in day out, and it's very linear, the editing. So it's like you have like your audio track and then you have your video tracks, and then they all kind of stack on top of each other, and you have to drop them and drag them. And then if you want to show a picture, that's like a nightmare. So to like drop this picture in,
Yeah.
it's like you have to put the picture into another
Not
timeline,
a
and then you
nightmare.
have to
Yeah.
cut out the video. It's a nightmare.
It's a
It's
Ah.
totally
nightmare.
non-intuitive
It's
and
not a
ridiculous.
nightmare.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's not intuitive,
If
that's
Adobe
right,
is
but it
watching,
is
it's
not a
ridiculous. You
nightmare.
need to fix that. If I put a picture
That's
in,
right.
it should take the video out.
Yes, Adobe, listen to me. I'm going to tell you this once. We want to put the nickel in, get the gum out.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not user friendly intuitive. So
No.
you want a
Oh
picture
my
of this
gosh.
beer glass, you put it in there, and you have a video, our video, underline. You want to put up a picture the way Adam does all the time. I have to go in, and if I don't want to see the video playing on the sides right here,
Mhm.
I have to cut the video out underneath that, and then have the pictures as a
In
black frame.
Premiere, that's true.
See?
In other things, it's not. It makes assumptions, whereas Premiere allows you full creative control.
I don't want creative control. I want
Okay.
like Premiere for Dummies.
That's why you
Yeah.
don't spend a lot of time in Photoshop.
I don't like Photoshop either.
I
You should
know.
change Photoshop to
See?
Lightroom.
Yes, that's right. But for example, I've taken some videos on my 5D Mark III and have taken them into Lightroom, and they will play. I guess not in the develop module, but
The quick develop, you can
Yeah,
edit it.
you can play them, but
But
you
you
can
can't
do
do much with
limited. Right, it will allow you to do a little bit of adjustments to it. It
Mhm.
will actually adjust your video a little bit, so you
Only
can color.
in the
It's in the library mode.
library mode.
right,
Right,
but it's
so you
mostly
can
just
use the
cuts, and
quick
you can't.
develop panel.
Mm.
It's mostly exposure. You can do a little bit of vibrance, I think, that kind of stuff. But you can't actually edit the length and things like
You
that.
can cut it.
Can you?
Yeah, you can cut
I've
in and out.
never, I've
Mm.
never
Yeah, so
actually
you can do
edited
the
there.
beginning and the end, and you can fade in,
I've
fade
bumped
out, I think.
exposure and stuff, but
Yeah,
yeah.
so you can't use develop, but there's a quick develop module that you
Yeah.
never use. It's
Mm.
that will work on video for some reason, but the regular develop won't. So
But then you can take the whole program into the slideshow module, and you can put frames and video together and have some sort of a
I
coherent
haven't
thing
done
to
it,
show.
but
or-
I believe you might be able to
I
put
only
in
ever
slideshow.
pull it into Premiere,
Mm.
but I have used iMovie, and I think iMovie is a good entry if you're a Mac user. I don't know what an equivalent one, probably QuickTime maybe on PC, but the choices and the controls are good. Get your feet wet and get used to editing video and adjusting volume levels and putting clips together, things like that. So definitely don't hesitate. don't jump immediately right into Premiere if you
Don't
have
ever jump at the premiere.
to
Mhm.
stop.
Just hit head into the wall.
No.
I'll give you
That's
two
right.
people's numbers. If you
Premiere-
want to talk to Adam, I'll
Premiere
give
is
you his
wonderful.
number.
Yeah, if you like brain torture, just go for it. Yeah.
No, I love Premiere, and it allows you to do very fine changes. You can split your audio into left and right channels. You can do all kinds of stuff. Love, love, love Premiere.
So we're getting off base on
Yeah.
editing because that wasn't thing. So and we're scaring them all. They're all like, "Oh my God, this
Yeah.
sucks. We should never do video."
No, well, let's just suck
like,
this out of the
But
brains
yes,
of the camera.
do video, and for instance, the reverse of if you do time lapse and then you're adding stills into your time lapse, it's the same kind of thing, right? You have a series of stills, add a little clip of video, right?
yeah, so it's great for
Understood.
event photography, for like travel photography, putting it in there, throwing it on your Facebook feed. I do a ton of video just on my iPhone. If you have decent lighting, you can get video on your iPhone, and that's usually good enough. So you can do stills and be like, "Hey, I'm here in Morocco, and I'm taking video, and keep an eye out for my photos later." And then when you put your photos up, you do them in Lightroom and process them. So you don't necessarily need the big cameras all the time to do the video. If you're not doing post production, all this other stuff, it might be quicker, easier, better to do it on a device or a GoPro 4K
Right,
as well. Record it and then pop it up there. You
Right.
know,
Yeah, if you're going to put it on the web, you don't need 4K right now.
you, the
It's-
good, the,
you
but
don't
the
have to
benefit of
have it.
4K isn't so much the quality of what comes out; it's the ability to pan and zoom in the frame. So, like, you can go and to a degree zoom in, crop in on the video, and zoom back out. So, like, say we were recording both of you guys, which we're not. We have two separate cameras on you. But say we only had one camera, we could record on you. If we did that in 4K, Adam could come in and zoom in on you when you're talking, and then zoom back out and zoom in on her when she's talking. So
Yeah.
that's the ability of having the resolution of that many pixels. So it's like
And
a
you
higher
can-
megapixel camera.
You can pull stills, usable stills from 4K.
8 megapixel
Right.
stills.
Yeah,
Which,
are,
you know,
you don't print them huge, but you can still print them.
yeah, well, the new Nikon D5 camera, I guess, has got that capability now too, where what the Lumix, which you guys shoot with, has that, and I noticed that they've kind of decided
Sony
they're
just put it
getting
in.
that. Sony's
The
got it,
Lumixes have it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not sure who else has it, but yeah.
And
Well,
if you're doing wedding photography and you're doing, and this example is probably, this is not a new example, but it's the kiss, you are now, I now pronounce you husband and wife, and they kiss, and you want to get that perfect shot, film it in 4K, and and then you can pull the still the right moment, and even if you're not planning to print it gigantic, an 8 megapixel file still prints
That's
pretty
right.
big. That's great for a photo album or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for most wedding
Yeah.
prints, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
if
a
the husband
20D
is a
was,
flight
right?
risk, you can watch him dashing from the church, and
Well, yeah, a lot of event photographers are adding the video element into it. I know I used it for marketing, not so much for the client. So I would do videos for just my little clips for marketing. So I'd flip it into video mode and video people dancing and jumping and stuff and make slideshows out of it. So, it just, you can't always portray how great the event or party is with a still frame. It looks great, but it freezes everything. Where if you do the video at like a concert or at something like that, it just has a whole different vibe than an image sometimes.
And one thing that is, this may be more unique to me, is that I forget. When I'm shooting, I'm so much into still mode, like my brain is in still photo capture mode. Like I forget that I can flip it into video mode, and the newer cameras have much quicker accessibility where you can just throw it into that 4K mode, bang, or even a rapid burst kind of stuff. But I completely forget half the time. Like,
Right.
oh yeah, I had that. I should have videoed it.
Well, even the older camera, the 5D Mark III that I have, has great video, and surprisingly, the mic in there is pretty good. I mean, it's, I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I've shot some video with it, and it's, perfectly acceptable. I mean, it's
It's always better to go with a separate mic like we have here. With any camera, that's the downfall of most of the DSLRs. If you talk to them, they just put cheap audio in it.
Right.
So if possible, like we're doing here, we record all the audio separately to a separate recorder because of that. because we tried it. Remember, we tried it when we first started the show a year and a half ago. Of let's just use a little boom mic, and no, it sounded terrible. Picked every noise and
Right.
scratching and everything else. And these pick up a lot too, but these are very focused on us, which is good for this application. But now,
Yeah,
and we
this is good for speaking, but like you were saying, street noise or whatever, you want
Yeah,
to take a
just-
picture or a short video of like a
it's
scene.
still better to have a separate mic if you can. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a huge one or expensive one, but a separate mic is going to get you substantially better audio for DSLRs. Now, as you start getting into some of the cameras that are more geared towards video, then it's like the C100 and stuff like that, then they're going to have better audio architecture in there.
Built in.
Right.
So yeah, that's one of the things, that's a hurdle we dealt with Robert. We did a whole series, three things on video, and that's one of the things that we had talked about, is that they're not worth crap. The audio inside, it'll do, but it's not great.
Right.
So go buy a $50 Rode mic or $50 external boom mic, throw it up there, and even as cheap as that is, it's going to be better than the little tiny pinhole in the front of your camera.
Yes, it will be.
So,
but if you don't mind the ambient noise, then it sort of captures an event, and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that's all you want.
Yeah, if
and-
you're just shooting the group of friends around the birthday cake singing happy birthday or something, I mean, and it's just a 10-second clip,
yeah.
that kind of stuff is going to be perfectly acceptable, and it does level out nicely and stuff. And
Right.
and in the post-processing tools, you have an ability to pull down some of that background noise and stuff like that sometimes too. So it's workable. It's not necessarily the best, but yeah.
So as we wrap up, video is scary, hard, difficult, and you shouldn't do it. So stay far away.
No.
Yeah, what did I
Editing
watch
is
this for?
No.
Editing is even
Yeah.
worse. Just bury your head in the sand and hire someone to do it. That's what we ended up doing.
Shoot video.
Yeah, so play with the video features. They're great.
Right.
The quality of the video is great. Again, the audio isn't great for everything, but it's acceptable. There's
But
a lot
video
of
is improving rapidly. I mean,
Yeah.
8K is right around the corner.
Yeah, once they get 8K, then there's going to be a lot more zooming
Game
and
on.
quality. Yeah, so the 6K they're coming out with 8K. So check out your video features. Play with it around the house. Videotape the cat. See what you can do and have fun with it.
Oh, 360 video.
Yep. So
That's
there's
another
new-
episode.
Very nice. Yes.
There's all kinds of
That's
stuff.
another
So
episode.
check out the
Super
video
Bowl.
features. See if it's for you, and we'll see you on another episode of After Hours real soon. So thanks for tuning in.
Cheers.
Subscribe and leave us comments down below.